Hey guys! You would think that I know how to do this right now, but it always asks me to rotate my phone in whatever the opposite way of what I was originally holding it in. Anyway, say hi to my little doll head. Anyway, I am back, you guys. I am back from Hawaii, and so this week is, like back to work and back to filming, obviously. So I am not like prepared. I feel like when I try to come on live, I love this video. I wanted to give you a little Monat update, and it was a little kind of status of my hair, if you will. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that we were in Hawaii and it was an amazing time. We were there for 8 days. And I have to be honest, I think this is the first like long trip that I've ever taken like Monat shampoo with me. Which sounds so awful, but normally like I overpack, I feel, clothing and other things always, that I feel like I'm always pushed for space. And so if it's like a day or two, I feel like my hair will just kind of have to do. And if it's like a longer period of time, I would have to take like a bigger amount of shampoo anyway, which I always think like that's so crazy. Like I'm just not going to be able to kind of fit that, in my luggage and stuff. So it's just something that, which is so stupid of me. I know as a hairdresser, you would think that like that would be my priority, right? Is to obviously take care of my hair while I'm away. So, and I have mentioned to you guys in the past, every time that I am away for a longer period of time and I don't bring my Monat stuff, my hair suffers. And so honestly, I should have figured out by now. But I guess it's different if I'm using kind of like hotel shampoo for like a couple of days. But being in the water, chlorine and salt water and stuff, like that's really different. And I believe last year I brought the Monat mask, but not the shampoo. And oh man, my hair was suffering when I got back. And so this time I was like, I don't care if I take, a less pair of shoes, but I am bringing my Monat system. And just to kind of clarify like what I'm using now, because obviously we get a lot of questions on like what system is right for you and all of that. So I've in the past so highly recommended the Intense Repair, and it is amazing for anyone that has like extreme hair like falling out, extreme hair thinning. And I just always thought like I want my hair to be thicker, and so that's what I'm going to use. So I would use that always together with the hydration system. And like everyone that like does Monat is always like telling me like you don't need the Intense Repair, and I'm like, yes I do. And I finally switched to just the hydration line, and holy crap, my hair feels like silk. I can go sometimes almost 2-3 days without shampooing my hair, and my hair still feels really good. Like so that's honestly the best condition my hair has ever been, like better than when I was like 15. Obviously at 15 and I wasn't dyeing my hair was in a really great healthy condition. That's not what I'm comparing it to, but the fact, and like at 15 I would have to wash my hair every day. Like I've always had kind of an oilier kind of scalp, and so the fact that this cleanses my hair but still leaves it super silky, like, is beyond me. And that's why I'm just so, attached to Monat and basically indebted to them, because I want to show you guys, like, this is my hair. This is not extensions. My hair has never been blonde and this long ever. So, like, naturally. So there is a lot to be said for that. I would always have a breakage up here. I feel like I would always ask, I would always like show you guys. You guys would always like ask like what haircut is that? And it would honestly be most likely a chemical haircut. So I actually wish I'd brought the shampoos down with me, but I was actually looking in my shower, and this is really bad of me, but I feel like all my friends that have ever seen my shower or family members, they are always like, good God, how many shampoo bottles do you need? And I would say that right now I probably have between, I would say maybe, I don't want to exaggerate and I don't want to sound absolutely crazy, but I think I have probably between 15 to 25 bottles of shampoo in my shower right now currently. Um, Obviously I get sent a lot of stuff and I try to try everything, even if it's like once, you know. So I do have stuff in there that I'm, you know, kind of here and there try and trial, but I feel like I always need to do like at least a week of Monat, and then one day I can kind of try something, so something else like different. But anyway, I have, I think, 6 hydration shampoo bottles in my shower currently, 2 of which are empty. Who else does that? Like, finishes a bottle, but it's like still there. And I promise I'm pretty organized with everything else in life, but I feel like my shower, that's like the one place that's like, I'm gonna get in, I want to make sure that I have all the products that I need, and then when I'm done, I'm kind of just out. So, hello from Italy, hi. I always love that when I do come on at kind of like different times, I get like, you know, different countries and stuff to join. So anyway, so when I was in the shower this morning and realized like my insanity of bottles of shampoo, I realized like it's time to talk about Monat, and I am going to be completely honest and transparent with you guys. I have held off on talking about Monat just because of everything that had been going on. Anytime I have clients come in and have questions, I've definitely like gone all in and talked about it and assure them that, you know, there is nothing going on. I've been using the product for over 3 years, almost 4 now. And again, my hair has been better than it has ever been. I have my whole family on it. My mom absolutely loves it. And I would say a good 75% of my clients are on it as well. And I've seen that transformation over a year or two. And this is like clients that I have been seeing for years before that and really knew their hair, and have also seen what Monat has done for their hair. So the fact that Monat was in, you know, going through all this legal stuff, basically people that had been using it were claiming that it made their hair fall out. And obviously there's so much to it when there is accusations like this. And I've said it in the past a million times. Obviously, I hadn't done clinical studies. I didn't have the legal kind of statements to share with you guys, but I always stood by my belief, which I've shared with you guys many times, and that is there is no chemical on the market that will make your hair fall out. If you think about it, the hair on your head is the strongest hair you have all over your body, more than your eyebrows, more than your lashes, more than the hair on your arms. And you can tell that by the way it grows. Your eyebrow hairs, even if you were to never cut them or pluck them or wax them, they grow to that length, and that's it. That's because it is a weaker hair. Smaller follicle, smaller the follicle, like you can never have a long hair grow out of it because that follicle is just not strong enough for that. So the hair on our head obviously is the biggest, strongest follicles you have, therefore that is why you can grow long hair. So if there is a chemical out there to get rid of and basically kill a hair follicle on your head, why are we not putting that on our legs and any unwanted hair areas? If that were the case, if there was a lotion or something as delicate as shampoo that we could just put on our like bodies and get rid of hair, you don't think the unwanted hair companies would be billionaires right now? And that's just fact. That doesn't exist. So right away I knew, I get people having complications, I get people having possible allergic reactions, but claiming that a shampoo has made your hair fall out is a really, really bold statement. And I personally think with anything, even amazing things, the most amazing things, they will always have hate, they will always have backlash. and Monat was just, of course, targeted as well. So the fact that this had been going on, and I did have a lot of subscribers ask, and even in my old videos, people were saying, like, I can't believe you as a professional hairdresser back up this product. I can't take you as a hairdresser seriously. I mean, these accusations were on the news. And so the good news and the reason why I am here is that the court did rule in Monat's favor. And I have everything written, which I want to read to you rather than, kind of say it in my own words or say it in any way that's not right. But basically, Monat had a third party test it out. I believe it was the FDA. So basically, not like Monat said, hey, I'm going to test it out and prove to you that my product is in fact amazing. They had a third party do it, unbiased, and the clinical proof is there that in fact that there is no chemical there to hurt your hair. If anything, it helps and is amazing for the hair. So when that came out, I mean, and this, I believe, came out actually before we went to Hawaii, but I was like, I want to do like an actual like sit down and talk about this, because I know that a lot of my loyal subscribers and clients and, people that have trusted me for a long time, I know were expecting and waiting for an explanation and an answer. So, and I could have come on here a million times and said, this is not true. This product, it continues to be amazing. But obviously I felt like without the kind of legal part to back up what I was saying, I was just going to get a ton of negative backlash, which, like I said, I was getting in older videos that I had made, about Monat. So I just figured it was better to kind of let everything settle. And the fact of the matter really is that I just knew that, Monat was going to come out on top because I have faith in the product, and not in a little loyal, customer or hairdresser, but I'm a client too, and I use a product and it's done absolutely amazing things for my hair. So, I'll just read kind of what I have here. Monat won all the lawsuits against them. They have been dismissed by the court. They did 3 different independent clinical studies on their product effectiveness, and they all came out stating that, sorry, my computer's acting funny. They all came out stating that Monat products do in fact work, nourish the hair, and do not cause loss, damage, or strain on the hair of any kind. I've also posted this clinical study on my Facebook page. So on the Monat Facebook page, you can also check out the whole trial and all the specifics on the trial and everything, formally written there at truthaboutmonat.com. So if you guys still have any questions, feel free to check that out. The FDA also inspected the Florida facilities in March and saw no red flags on any ingredients that the company uses. So again, a major plus, I think, for anyone that had doubts or was a little skeptical. So and I understand that. So the reason why, Monat was never like, no way, so what they tried to explain at first was, so say you have, medical issues going on. It takes about 2 to 3 months for the effects to show basically on hair and skin. So say that you're, I don't know, what stage of cancer and you're going to be losing your hair, but say you started Monat and you physically from your illness start to feel better, and then you start to lose your hair because you are using Monat. Of course you're going to blame the Monat, not your actual health, because you were feeling better. So a lot of tests were done on that, and because the timing, the reason why some people were coming out and saying that Monat was making their hair fall out was because the timing, it just seemed, it was a horrible coincidence that when they started using the product, this happened. But when something that severe happens to you, you need a medical study done. You can't just claim that, hey, it is, it's based on this. So, and again, there's no chemical that can do that to your hair. And I think deep down, like that, Monat knew that. And that's why Monat was obviously just, secure about their product and wasn't afraid, but it was just another hurdle they had to go through. And I think the really sad thing about this, and I've definitely dealt with this, on social media, is that when something is negative, like it was publicized, it was on the news, and now that, this trial has, come out saying that in fact, Monat doesn't have any chemicals that are actually bad for your hair. Like there's not going to be any televised anything of that. It's not going to be broadcasted on the news saying, oh, in fact, Monat is actually wonderful for your hair. Of course not. So I feel like that's really sad. So unless you're actually looking for these studies and, it's sad. You're never going to get the right information, but you did get the negative. So that's just how life is and how, these things go sometimes. So, since we are kind of on this topic, I feel like in live videos, I always end up touching on hate or, like negativity that I've been experiencing. And I think something hit me, and again, this was a couple weeks ago, and I just like realized, I mean, this is a perfect example and a perfect kind of just tip for me to live my life and basically my life on like social media, is that, like people are always going to be disappointed with you, and I'm such a person pleaser, and I mean, it's in my nature and it's what I do for a living. Like I have to want to make people happy. Like I can't go into work and being like, I'm gonna do whatever I want and I don't care what people think, like I would have some really unhappy clients. So I think there is a big balance there that yes, you do have to give, and you do have to in work, you do have to really give your all to make someone else happy. And when people say like, oh, you're so lucky you work for yourself, and everyone has a boss. I promise you, like you're not like working and paying yourself. Like that doesn't exist. So even at the salon, I don't have a boss telling me when to come into work. I don't have a boss, telling me what to do. But my clients, each and every one of my clients is my boss, because if they're not happy, like my job's not done right. So there is still someone who, I have responsibility for, basically making them content and fulfilled and with their hair at least. So, but I feel like one of like, I don't know, like so I feel like I've always been a pretty confident person. Like anyone can say, I don't know, I think like physical things, like put me down that way. And it's never bothered me. But I feel like I've mentioned this a million times, when my integrity and like my personality is in question or stabbed at, then like I can't deal. And I think, and I don't know what hit me like in the last couple of weeks, but finally something just came to me that like, it's what's most important to me is my integrity and my personality and all of that. And that's why it hurts so much, I think, when someone stabs that. But at the same time, I was like, if that's the one thing that I am the most proud of, that I pride myself in, that I have a really high integrity and morals, and so when someone, makes a stab at that, like I just get so hurt. But what hit me was that like, when someone says something about my physical appearance, I just think, well, that's your opinion. Not everyone's going to find me attractive. Not everyone's going to like listening to me, and that's okay. Like I'm totally fine with that. But when someone, Olive, Olive has strong opinions also. You're okay. I think she hears some construction going on outside. And Olive, come here. You're okay. Come here. Do you want to say hi to the camera? Hi. Are you being shy? No? Okay. Can you say hi? Hi, little dog. Okay. Yeah, you go check outside again. So that's Olive, by the way, if you guys haven't met her. Okay, she's not going to calm down until either that person leaves or stops making noise. So, but yeah, I think the reason why I'm like so passionate about it and like get so upset, but I just thought like, I don't really care when someone attacks my looks or my personality or the fact, or like the way I speak or the way they don't like to listen to me talk, whatever. Like that has never bothered me, but then, you know, stabs at my integrity like really get to me. So I was like, the one thing I am confident in, the one thing that I know like my worth and, so basically the area where I'm the most confident, like why am I getting more upset? It should, if anything, be the other way around. So I think there has been kind of a small shift in me in the way that I feel like I will deal with negativity or and not that I've been experiencing anything like that. I mean, everything is actually fine, but I just know that with being on social media, it, you know, at any time can kind of go up and down. That's just the nature of this beast, really. But basically, I've always stayed true to who I am, and I think if anything, sometimes with the hate and me so hard trying to explain myself, I feel like that's almost not being me, and I'm losing sight of what really is important. Like, stay focused on what I've always loved to do, which hair is number one. Number two is sharing that knowledge with you guys and really empowering, you know, not to just be like, ooh, empowering other women, but just anyone. And for every time that I'm stopped at an airport or on the street and someone says, oh my gosh, you've like totally saved my hair, and like that's what I need to focus on. And again, if a handful of people don't like me, totally okay with that, because deep down I feel like I have helped a lot of people and I'm doing something that I truly 100% love, and there's so much contentment in that there should really be no time to really focus on such silly, insignificant things in life. So yeah, that is kind of what I wanted to update you guys on. I got a haircut. Now just go back to hair. I got a haircut maybe, I'm gonna say 4 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago. And I already feel like I got all that length back and more. And I feel like my hair almost looks brighter, and I haven't put any bleach on my hair, if anything. I feel like I have lots of rootage kind of coming through. So anyway, I guess the status on my hair is that it feels extremely silky, and I have been putting a lot less heat on my hair. I feel like in older videos I would just, you know, blow out my hair, then kind of flat iron some areas and curl other areas, and I feel like that really just, it makes the hair look really sleek and really perfect on camera, but it just, I felt like the second I washed my hair, it was like so dry, so damaged. I had so much breakage. And so now I let my hair almost completely naturally air dry, and then I kind of just do a quick blowout. So I feel like if anything, my hair isn't as like straight smooth as it used to be, and sometimes people are like, your hair looks more damaged than it did before, but I wish you could feel my hair in person. And I promise that it feels so amazing. And sorry, I just see all these like comments coming in, and I'm sorry that I've again just been kind of on a ramble. Someone asked, how old is your dog? Olive is just a little over 1. She turned 1 in the end of October. So she is a Scorpio. Just kidding. Yeah, so she's still, I think for her size, she like looks like she's like this big old lady kind of. But when she like walks around and like her energy, it's like she's such a puppy. Like people are always like, "Oh, how old is she?" Because she looks, you know, big, but she like kind of like wobbles around still like a puppy and has like this crazy amount of energy. Um, do you have any samples of different shampoo? Do you mean for Monat? I actually have, I ordered a ton of samples a while back. And I've talked about this a lot too, where I'm not a big believer on doing samples of the Monat, and I will tell you why. Obviously, the first time you use one of these, it's gonna smell amazing, your hair will feel great, blah, 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 of course. But I personally think that when something is this like strong grade of it's really going to heal and completely transform your hair. It doesn't happen in one shampoo. So I feel like with one sample, you're not going to get the full effects. And I really feel Monat has a 30-day money back guarantee. So I always think get the full bottle, use, you know, at least 75% of it, really see how your hair reacts, and then decide whether if it's for you or not. I just feel like a sample, you're just getting kind of, you can smell it, you can feel it in your hands, you can see how your hair blows out from it, but you're not getting the full effects of the Monat kind of experience all around, if that makes sense. But we do occasionally send out samples. If you guys are curious, do join us on the Monat Facebook page. Myself and my team will get back to you shortly with any answers that you guys have. If you guys are looking to join or just to buy, there's a lot of information on there, and I just always like try and keep my overall like social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I really try and talk about all the things that I'm passionate about. And so then I like to have kind of separate areas. So if you are interested in Monat, then you can go here and like learn all about it rather than kind of bombard all of YouTube and all of Instagram with it, if that makes sense. It also gives you kind of a space to kind of just go for, you know, that topic. Like if you say you ask me like what shampoo is right for me in a video and I never get to your comment, you know, we want to be able to, you know, to obviously answer any questions you guys have. So this is also why I try and do these live videos, is that when I feel like I can actually answer your questions on here, which I haven't been doing a very good job of today, but I'm trying to regain my natural curly hair. What are some of your recommendations? So that's actually a really good question, and I do hear a lot of my clients say like, my hair used to be so curly, what happened? So chemical basically transformation of the hair. So that means perms, any thermal straightening, any sorry, not thermal straightening, any keratin treatments, color, bleach, all of that will have an effect on the structure of your hair. So whether your hair is straight or curls or whatever. So say if you bleach your hair a lot, you are going to lose some of that curl pattern because you are almost restructuring. I'm not going to get too nerdy or too technical with hair, but you're basically rewiring almost the DNA. It's not the DNA, but of your hair. So if the hair is meant to be curly, it's going to kind of relax it because you've removed parts of the hair, because that's what bleach does. So if you have been doing that a lot to your hair, obviously laying back on that, really healing the hair. That means using Olaplex, pH bonder every time you lighten your hair to at least protect from the damage of lightener. Obviously using the best, you know, shampoo and conditioners. That's one of the main things you can do for your hair. I also recommend using a good high quality oil. I always say, obviously, I think the Rejuvenique oil by Monat surpasses any oil on the market for hair. If you don't want to do Monat, I at least suggest a good argan oil. And it has to be a good high quality argan oil. If you're getting a bottle this big for $10, it's not high quality argan oil. So the reason for that is because the argan nut is actually really hard to harvest the oil out of. So you need so many like nuts basically to create that much oil. So it's going to cost a little bit more for, to have, to retain or to get that much oil. So cold pressed organic oils are the best, absolutely. So that I think that would be the next suggestion, is definitely adding a good, good amount of hydration to the hair. And the reason why argan oil or the Monat Rejuvenique oil is so good for the hair is because the like chemical compound or the chemical characteristic of it is that it is so small that it actually does in fact penetrate the hair, and therefore healing the hair from the inside out, rather than a lot of products that just coat the hair and make it look really good because you've applied it, and so that's kind of putting pressure on the outer layer of the hair, and it makes it look shiny, but it's just temporary, because the second you wash your hair, that is going to come off and your hair is still frizzy and dry and damaged. Okay, we have a lot of unfortunate people on now, so always what happens anytime that I go over, I think it's like 15 minutes, like I feel like the pools open up and everyone just, people that are not interested in hair and stuff just will join and kind of come on here with silly comments. Someone said, I am obsessed with Kevin Murphy products. Have you ever used this line as an alternative? I do love Kevin Murphy products. I think they are good for the hair. I think Kevin Murphy products, their packaging is so gorgeous. I think products smell really nice. For me, it's not one of those lines that really just gives you so much result or so much benefit. And that's all I kind of have to say about it. It's not, there's nothing really negative about it, but it's not like, oh yeah, when I use this shampoo, my hair feels, over time, it just feels amazing. Like, I don't think so. So, I think they are pretty pricey, and they are good products. They definitely are, and better than a lot of stuff out there. But I honestly don't think that it's like, whoa, the best products out there. Someone said, Kevin Murphy's volume line dried my scalp out really bad. Strange. So normally the volume line in any line, any brand, the reason why it is volumizing is because there is kind of like no hydration there in order for the hair to really kind of just lift and look really voluminous, almost agitated hair. And I don't mean that it's not ruining or damaging your hair. It's just not weighing it down with basically hydrators. So it may make your hair feel drier. It's not actually damaging or being extremely harsh on your hair. But anyone that does color treat their hair needs a little bit more hydration than that. And I would not recommend a volume line for anyone that colors or bleaches their hair. Doesn't air drying make the cuticle rough? So the reason it's much healthier for the hair, but when you air dry your hair, it kind of opens up and kind of sets in that way. Whereas when you blow dry the hair, you're kind of blow drying it down in the direction that the kind of hair scales are. and therefore you're kind of laying them down and sealing them that way. So it makes the hair look so much better. Is it better adding heat to the hair? Is never better for your hair than letting it air dry. Okay, just remove some people. Okay. When I get my hair colored, my hairdresser uses wax paper instead of aluminum foil to not burn as much. What are your thoughts on this? So, as a professional, I think it's that professional's choice, or that it's up to their discretion. They're seeing how your hair reacts. I personally love a foil even for balayaging. The reason for that is because foil holds in heat, and when there is some heat on your hair, and I'm talking about just like scalp heat, not like added heat, it actually opens the hair a little bit more, which gives you a lot more lift. So if you don't want a lot of lift, if you want a very subtle balayage and you don't want any damage on your hair, then wax paper, kind of saran wrap, all those are great alternatives for that. And but I think just because you are using foils does not mean that it is damaging. It's all about the developer that you're using. So someone can be using wax paper and be using 40 volume, and that can be so much more damaging than, say, doing 10 or 20 volume with foils. Okay. So Giselle said, somebody help. Sorry, I missed your question. Someone said, I have a dry scalp and hair loss. What is the best product for that? Please help. So I don't know if you listened to the beginning part of this video. Obviously, Monat is incredible for anyone that has fine, thinning hair. I'm personally, if you're color treat your hair, I definitely just recommend the hydration line. If you don't really color treat your hair and you're having a lot of hair loss, this line is amazing for men. I would definitely recommend the Intense Repair system. And there's also the black system, that one's mainly geared for men. There's not a lot of like hydration there. So for guys with shorter hair, guys that aren't coloring their hair, that's a perfect all-in-one shampoo. I'm all for products making it easier on you, because I always feel that if the process is easier, people will stick to it. If I give my client a 15-step regimen to do on their hair and it's going to heal their hair, guess what? They're not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm actually quite lazy with my hair. I wash it because I have to, and I just want it to look good. And I would assume that everyone else who obviously isn't as passionate about hair as I am would probably feel the same way. Nobody wants to spend hours and hours on their hair a day. So that is one of the main reasons why I absolutely love Monat, is because the fact that we all have to shampoo our hair. So with that daily step, or however often you wash your hair, with that step that you're already doing anyway, you are treating your hair. And I love that. I mean, could you imagine that, you can lose weight by eating pizza? I feel like that's kind of how Monat feels to me. It's like, I have to do this anyway, and so why not just use the right product, and kill two birds with one stone. Except don't kill any birds. They're cute. Okay. Let's see. I have to get going soon. What time is it? I was telling myself I'm gonna go on for half an hour, and then I'm on for an hour. You guys are good company, that's why. Okay. Products can I use to hold my curls after washing my hair? There are lots of products. Honestly, I'm not a curly hair expert, and I really do feel that they're actually I have a friend from cosmetology school who lives and works in the South Bay, and she is a curl expert, and she personally has curly hair. So I feel like oftentimes people with curly hair that are hairdressers are really knowledgeable in that area and really have like all the products. And honestly, I feel like 90% of my clients that have curly hair, when they come in, they like want me to blow dry them and, you know, straighten them out like bone straight. So I know that that's just mainly my clientele. I'm more of a colorist, obviously blonde specialist. So that is not something, I mean, from a basic hairdresser point of view, I know that basically coating the hair with something that is not going to let the curls go frizzy will give them definition, hold, as to what products is best for that. Honestly, anything that doesn't have like harsh chemicals or harsh alcohols in them, just because that's just going to make your hair frizzier. And that's, with curls, that's definitely something that you are trying to avoid constantly, because you want that beautiful defined curl, but you don't want this like frizziness. So that's just my best advice. Sorry that I'm not more of an expert in that. I just, when I give advice, I am talking, I know, to a pretty large audience. I would never want to say something that I don't 100% know is the truth and facts. So if I do get any more information on that or any good suggestions from other hairdressers, I will be happy to share that in a future video. Hi from Morgan. Hello. So speaking of future videos, I have a great idea for a video that I will be filming tonight, and that will be up for you guys Saturday. So since you guys are here and you guys get a little bit more exclusive info behind the scenes. So I've always been thinking of like how I really want to just like explain this to you guys, but I don't know how I can kind of put it in simple enough terms. My biggest fear always with doing every video is that I'm going to sound too hairdressery, too complex, and people are like, what is she talking about? So basically it's kind of going in and analyzing what hair type you have, and then what hair color is right for you. So not like red or brunette or blonde, but say you want blonding, like is balayage or highlights or ombre, which is the right kind of technique for your hair type. And that is so important, because I constantly will have someone come in with, you know, finer hair, and they'll show me a picture of blonde hair, and they'll say like, I want that. And oftentimes that is already what they have. They have that color, they just don't have that hair type. So basically I want to do this video to kind of help you understand, when you look at a picture, what you see and what you like. Is it really the color, or is it more the hair type? And not only explain that to you, but also explain why, and possibly why. So I've had a lot of people say like, I've had balayage a lot of times and it doesn't look good on me. And balayage technically is so universally flattering on everyone, but if your hair like structure and kind of density is a little bit different, then it may not look the same on you. So that's kind of what I wanted to explain. I think it could be really interesting, and I think it, a lot of you guys would have big aha moments. So I think that would be helpful. Let's see, what was my other suggestion? So the last video I did was my updated makeup routine, and then got really good feedback, so thank you guys for that. And do leave suggestions and video ideas if there is something. Like I said, I always have a master list of what I want to shoot, but if there is something that is, you know, really highly requested, I always like to add those ahead of what I have in mind. So yeah, leave me down your suggestions. And it was great spending some time with you guys. And I hope you are having a fabulous Wednesday wherever you are in the world. I guess some people it's already Thursday. So anyway, Sunset, I'm super excited for your next video. Oh, thank you. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I love you guys, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.